Okay, good morning. Here's another round of morning chess, which I played against a 1954 player. I play on different sites with different names and different ratings. And I'm 1942 on this at this moment here. So anyway, he opened with d4. Let's see what we can learn. This was very instructive regarding pawns, okay? Weak pawns. You know the cool thing about chess? Everything you learn as a beginner, you keep using as you improve. You will use the same ideas when you are a master, when you are a world champion. You're using the exact same ideas. Okay, d4. I'm going to leave the arrows, the computer suggested moves here. Knight to f6, knight to f3. We're going to get to the point where it was very interesting, having to do with finding out where the weakness is and then building your whole game around that. Okay, bishop to b7. Knight d2, and I'm showing the evaluation. You can see the evaluation, computer evaluation there. All right, knight develop, develop, develop. You know, there are other variations, other possibilities, right? I don't know my openings. I'm just playing. You know, I'm not trying to give him. I'm defending squares in the center, especially, right? I'm not giving him the e4 square. All right, bishop out. Looks so far so good for black, right? Minus 0.7. Of course, these evaluations up to 1.5 are on the short term are not definitive. Okay, bishop g2. See, the computer wanted me to play wanted me to push the pawn right away. But I'm still not losing by moving the knight to e4. Knight takes, bishop takes. I mean, my plan was I want to get rid of his bishop on g2. So now when he moves the knight is indirectly pinned with that plan of getting rid of his very good bishop on g2. All right, we keep moving here. So far, okay, neutral. Rook over, queen up. Like I said, I want to get to the pawn point, the point of the pawn, and also, to make sure I'm not losing in the meantime. Rook over. So my plan, okay, I have a little threat now, right? Two attackers against his knight, which you'll see, of course. He really should have pushed d5, cramped me a bit. But he didn't. I take. And now his knight. Okay, here's an instructive moment. You know, when you're deciding where pieces will be traded, because this is something you can give it some thought, you want to decide where your piece is going to end up to determine if it's going to be in a good square, if it's going to be in an active square, if it can return to the game quickly or not. That's a real big thing, yeah? So his knight is on g2, and I don't know, maybe he can go to d5, but I can harass him. Anyway, I don't think it's the best square for the knight. He didn't probably give it a whole lot of thought. He could have traded down differently. But I'd have to give that more thought as well. All right. Anyway, but the point is the point, about making sure you know where your pieces are going to end up after a trade and making sure they can get back into the game quickly, within 1, 2, and at most 3 moves, with a knight. But, it has to be within 1 or 2 moves. Otherwise, your opponent's going to steal the initiative, and you could just be down for the rest of the game. All right, so the bishops are off. Which means, okay, he has more center. Look at this. This is interesting to me. All right, this is the point. Now, the computer does show black with a slight advantage, even though he has his advanced d5 pawn. I don't make these moves. I can start shredding pawns and creating weaknesses. See that knight? His knight on g2 is a little out of commission, right? So I can get some activity going where that knight is not. But I don't play b5, but I did identify this pawn as a major weakness. All right, now, so we continue. Knight up. And, all right, he's chasing me around, making his pawns, weaker in the process. Queen over. All right, oh, look, I played e6, right here. Because my rook is ready here, I can create, it's a threat. It's an immediate threat to win a pawn. And he could have played He did play it. All right. So now I take, he takes, and now the main part of the game is the E file. Yeah, whoever can command the E file. But I'm still always looking at this pawn. It's a backward pawn. Even though this is very interesting, we have 4 against 4 on the queen side. But because this pawn, the pawn on c5 is advanced, if he moves this pawn on b3, well, then the c4 pawn becomes weak. So this is why black's pawns on the queen side are, I think, a little better. I could be wrong, but that's how I'm thinking about it, and that's how it ended up. And you'll see how the computer agreed in short order here. He still wants me to push b5. It's not a plan that I saw. I just was focused on the E file and trying to command the E file. And I'm looking to go into an endgame with knight against knight and to harass that, to try and get the initiative, put him on the defensive, and then good things come from that. Okay, he moves his king. I take, he takes, bring the rook over. He doesn't want to go for the X. He doesn't want to give me the E file. So I'm trying to force that command of the E file by moving my king over to help. Queen attacks. I take. He takes. And, you know, it's interesting. The computer wants queen to f5. I chose queen to e8 because I still think my knight can dominate. And he does trade. And that's the reason I brought my king over, so my king could take. So my knight would still be, you know, the point I made earlier. I don't want to have to spend a tempo getting my knight into an active role in the game, attacking, right? So he moves his, and I'm already looking. Oh, see, I moved that pawn to, you know, create, so he can't push immediately before. All right, now he can, but I'm here, and he does. But look at this. This is so cool. I take, he takes, and now I go for this pawn here, because if he takes the A pawn, I'll have a passed pawn. So that there's, you know, one weakness turned into another. Now the c4 pawn is weak, as we talked about earlier. All right, look at the computer evaluation. Black is up, minus 2.3. Yeah, this is really cool. You know, when you identify, you know, look, there aren't that many weaknesses in chess. This is amazing. You know, pawns are weaknesses, and the king is a major weakness. The other pieces can dance around and move unless someone makes a tactical error. I'm really simplifying. I'm giving away deep secrets of chess here, folks. All right, so knight over and king up. Look at the evaluation for black. I'm going over. I have a passed pawn. That's power move number 6, my power move system. Simplified chess, baby. All right, king up, king over. He attacks, bring the knight over, goes in, I go up. I'm, again, see, the whole game was these queen pawns, right? Give an escape square, minus 3. Now I'm attacking. Oh boy, he's got to defend. All right, now, okay, now we're talking about tempi, right? I need one extra move. All right, so I'm going up, and I had to give this a little thought, but take. Pawn up. You know, he's going to have to give up another pawn at some point, but that passed pawn is killer. So this is an interesting decision. Look, if I take the pawn, then he retakes, and then it's my move. There's a name for it in chess when you're giving the move over to your opponent. There's probably some German term for that. And so I push. Now it's his turn. Isn't that interesting? Just a simple thing like that in terms of controlling tempo. If I take, he takes, and it's my turn. I push, and now it's his turn. And look at the evaluation, minus 6.1. I'm going to get in now. King goes in. Tack. It's minus 12. It's happening, folks. It's happening. Knight over. Push the pawn. He has to give it up. He gives it up. You know, minus 64. I'll just show you the rest of the game. But the lesson has been learned. I hope you learned something from this. Thumbs up if you did. And, you know, I'll show you the rest. I calculated, of course. I brought my king in. I didn't need to even. You know, like the computer, look, made in 21. But that was too much for me to calculate. I wanted to stop the runner and wanted my king in. So I'm here, now I'm pushing, and I'm just faster, right? And there. He keeps fighting. I don't know what the clock time is right now, but and game over. Okay, so we will see you in the next session of morning chess.